All right, quilt people, we are back. And I promise a little less talking today. Oh my god, the last one. Whoo! I really took you to church, didn't I? Fun fact, don't know if you knew this, my father was a Baptist minister. And that is all I will ever say about that. Anyhow, bubble jet set. Bubble jet set. I did a tutorial on this, like I said, like a long time ago. But I wanted to revisit it because there are a few more options I have found that will make the whole process easier. Now, there are pre-printed sheets that you can get. Hold on, grab it. Such as this that I've covered before, right? Now, the problem with this product, and I haven't seen others, right, that you just take the sheet out, run it through your printer, and then use it in your work, is that it's essentially your printing on plastic, right? And so when you sew through this product, it leaves a permanent hole like you're sewing through paper, right? Whereas with fabric, when you sew through it, you don't really see the holes that you're making, right? So this is good for certain things, but you really can't quilt over it. It doesn't work. So with the bubble jet sets, you get to print on any color of fabric, right? And you're choosing, and it couldn't be easier. And it does print on real fabric, the fabric of your choice. So it doesn't have to be white. It can be any color you want, and you can still print on it. All right. So this project is coming along. I hope that you like it. I put the foreground on down at the bottom. The motherboard roots are all kind of resolved with that. So the only thing left to add is the person, the goose, and the leaves. All right. So the goose and the leaves, well, probably the person too. Maybe I don't know. I haven't decided what the person's going to be yet. But I'm going to focus next on the leaves and then the goose. And so what I love about the bubble jet set that I ordered is it came with some freezer paper sheets. Oh my gosh, this is brilliant, right? So when you have your fabric, you just lay it out and then you iron it onto the freezer paper so that it sticks, right? And then you can cut it out the regular 8.5 by 11 and then just run that through your printer. The old tutorial that I did on this, I used another version which works just as great. If you don't have freezer paper yourself that you can cut by into regular paper size, then just use what I use normally is a regular weight paper that's just slightly heavier than the normal printer paper. Not, I mean, don't go crazy. We don't need to go to cardstock and all that, right? So it's just something in between that has a little more weight to it. And then what I used to do is actually sew, right? Sew the four sides of the paper and the fabric so they'd stay together as I'm running through the printer. So that's one option. That's not what I'm going to be doing today. If you want to see that option, go back to, like, I don't know, 2005 and revisit that tutorial. Have a good laugh. Anyhow, that's what we're going to be doing today. And so let's get started. All right, we are in my kitchen. I have the jelly roll pan. Do people really make jelly rolls anymore? It seems very like 60s. I don't know. Anyhow, so get the jelly roll pan and then this, pour it in, right? Put in your sheets that I've kind of pre-cut already to the right size, close. You'll see why. And let it soak for 5 minutes. All right, we're going to shake this up real good. And then pour this in just so that there's enough coverage for the basic area. It just has to soak for 5 minutes, okay? Bubble jet set. And then, just one at a time, I'm gonna let these get soak in here. All right, so I'm just adding these one at a time into the solution. Extra thread over. And you'll notice I'm not using white fabric, right? I'm using off-white because I don't want my printed image to be bright. Right? I want to tone it down a little bit just by the fabric selection. All right, I have thrown these in the dryer before, but it makes kind of a mess. So I find that just putting them in the sun, since it's just a single, oh, welcome to my house. Since it's just a single sheet of fabric, oh, the door's locked. Hold on. Doing on this on the fly, I guess. Just put it in the sun for a few minutes. Luckily here in Palm Springs, it's still over 100 degrees, and it will be for quite some time. So I'm just going to lay these out here and wait for about 10 minutes for them to dry. All right, these are pretty much dry now, and so I'm just going to grab them and iron them flat before putting on the freezer paper sheets. Okay, we all know and love freezer paper, right? So these are actual sheets. You can actually make your own. And so what you do is just put the shiny side. Let me make sure that I'm going to be happy with this side of the fabric being printed on. I might flip it over. Okay. I guess it's fine. Okay. Right? Shiny side down, and then just iron this on. Okay, I have all my sheets done. You can see I'm doing a variety of kind of beige and tan because I want my leaves, right, to kind of reflect differently. I don't want them to be all the same color. So, next thing I'm going to do is just cut off the excess and only have a paper-sized 8.5 by 11 piece left to deal with, which is going to go through the printer. And just like that, look at all these sheets that I have that are on all kinds of different beige, right? And it's paper on one side, fabric on the other, just ready to run through your machine. It's just that easy. All right, so now I'm going to print the images that I think should go on here just on paper and pin them up just to make sure that I have the scale right. And then I'm going to print them out actually on these fabric sheets. All right, I'm glad I did this because I just printed the leaves on paper as I'd done them in the file, and they're feeling a little biggish. Is that a word? So I'm just going to shrink them down just a little bit because I don't want them to be overly powerful in the image, and right now just how large they are, I'm feeling like that might draw too much attention to itself, so I'm going to scale that back a little bit, and then I'm also going to kind of print them in a surrounding kind of orange so that the white there when I cut it won't be white. If I do miss a little bit of threads and everything, it'll be orange. So that'll be good. Let me grab my fabric sheets, and I'll finish up the file, then I'll email it to myself, and then I'll print it on my other printer, and it'll be all set to go. Okay, now comes the moment of truth. Let's see if it actually works. Okay, so I'm going to put my fabric sheets in the printer. I just brought a new ink cartridge for this, so everybody say a little prayer. We're going to print this file, just the first page, just to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay. And just from 1 to 1. Here we go. Any day now. Here we go. Look at that. You see George Floyd? So that is leaf number 1 done. It's just that easy. All right, this is interesting that I'm finding. Look, there was accidentally a thread that went through the machine on top of this fabric. So when the printer was going over it, and then I removed the loose thread, which is, you can see down here, right? You can see all the parts where it actually missed printing because it was printing on the loose thread and not actually on the fabric. So you might want to be careful of that. All right, this one turned out great. I'm so happy. Look at the Breonna Taylor image. It's just, it's so light. I love the kind of ghost kind of effect that it has, and just showing up very lightly in the image of there. But again, look down here. It printed on top of a loose thread, and then when I swept the loose thread away, there was no printing underneath, which is fine because it's just in the background area. But if it had been in one of the main areas, I would be very upset. Okay. All right, I've given the sheets lots of time to dry. Right. So now I'm going to peel it off from the paper and then just give it a little bit of a rinse in the what do you call this? Bubble jet rinse. All right, and that'll just set the color. See, they just peel right off. Woohoo! All right, so I'm just going to give them a quick rinse in the sink here with that bubble rinse, and that'll just set it, and then I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to work with putting them onto the image. But that's pretty much all I'm going to do for today. I'm going to rinse it, set it aside, let it dry, and that's it. I'm done for today. I'm exhausted. I don't know why. I'm just really tired today. So anyways, I hope you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.